I love that we can make a video about what we're learning as we were teaching our children. Hey, welcome. My name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom to 4 boys. I have graduated too, and we are on our 16th year of homeschooling. And I know there have been some mamas out there doing some videos on what I have learned or what I wish I had known. And I thought that was great. I really hadn't dwelt that much upon it, but all of a sudden, all these things started coming to my mind, and I thought these would definitely fall under the category of things that I have learned, that I wish I would have known, and that I would love to share with you. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. If you like this type of content, please give this video a thumbs up. That would encourage me. And also, if you have not subscribed, I love doing homeschool content past and present. And I do have a 6th grader and an 11th grader I am sharing about this school year, but I have been doing my sharing for the last few years. So, all right, let me get started. I'm going to give you a little thoughts on each level, like elementary, middle school, and high school. Just some things that I wish I had known and that I have learned from. Okay, let me go ahead and start with the level of elementary. And I want to talk about curriculum because, you know, if you're doing a homeschool video of things you wish you'd known or things you have learned about, curriculum is going to be in there somewhere, right? I think what really brings this thought about a lot is I see ladies comment, maybe not just on my channel, but on other like groups, that will this curriculum work all the way through? They're starting in kindergarten and they just want to find the right curriculum that they won't ever have to change curriculum. I don't personally feel like maybe that was something that I had to learn or understand or wish I would have known because I didn't think that way. At least I didn't think I thought that way. Especially in the beginning, I was actually very open-minded because everything was new to me and I knew there was a lot out there. And this was even within the last 10 years. I've been homeschooling, we are on our 16th, even in the last 10 and even more so in the last 5, the choices of curriculum has increased beyond my mental capability. So praying for you mamas out there that are still trying to figure it out. So this might help you a little bit. That once you choose a curriculum, you are not married to it. You do not have to stay with that curriculum. I do encourage you to really seek the Lord and pray about it for that season you're in. Maybe it's just that school year that you find the curriculum that will work for you while you have a baby and you have little ones and you really just want to teach, this kindergartner or 1st grader. Maybe you have younger ones and you have one entering middle school and you need them to work independently, and this is what is going to work for this school year. It does not have to stay that way. It does not have to be permanently that curriculum. So that is something I just want to encourage you with because yes, there was a period of time as my son, my oldest, entered middle school that I was planning out thinking I would use this one particular curriculum all the way through. And it didn't work out that way. And really, I think I lost track of it somewhere after the 2nd year. It just wasn't going to happen. And other opportunities came up, other things came up. And I believe it was what the Lord had for him. So just want to encourage you as you begin planning in those early years. And also, this is sort of funny, but I can't say it's the most encouraging thing, but I do want to share it with you because I remember finding some things that I had studied with my 2 older ones. It was actually like a whole weather study. I had made cloud cards. We had studied all the names of the clouds. We had checked the weather every day. We had made weather charts, lots of books on clouds and weather. We talked about them when we're in their car. What kind is that? Really, we're entwining them every day into whatever we were doing. We were thinking about the weather and the clouds and the names of them and what it might mean for the weather. So I had found them, I don't know, it was like a year or so ago. And I was like, do you remember these? And they're like, not really. So just want to encourage you that, you may think that you have created a genius in this subject in the elementary years, but let me encourage you that you have created a lifelong learner. If they are interested enough to go with you and learn all that stuff, and it was fun, they're going to be interested in learning something else. And to them, learning is fun. So I do hope that is what I poured into my children, is that learning can be fun and it is worth the effort. So I hope that makes sense. That sometimes, and I do have to say, every person is different. He is probably a lot like me and doesn't have the best memory. And my third one has a pretty good memory. He is a lot like his daddy. He remembers a lot more details of things that we did. If I show him pictures, he'll be like, oh, I remember that. And if I showed my other boys pictures, they'd probably remember to a point, but not in such detail as my third one. So that it all depends on that also. And I don't want it, what I'm saying is not to discourage you from doing those things. I think those things are so important because during that time, you are building a relationship with that child. That child is building a relationship with his siblings, and it's just an opportunity to learn together. And I think it's great. So, but I just thought that was sort of funny that he said that. But let's move on to middle school. Let's talk about middle school. Middle school, there's going to be a lot of changes you'll see in your child, and not just in the schoolwork, but just in life in general. And at the same time, we have to remember to prioritize our relationship. I'm actually going to talk about middle school with the curriculum, but I do just want to mention this one thought here because I feel like this is something that is important to remember and that I did have to learn and just be aware of that. And this is true for children, high schoolers, adults, ourselves, that the devil is real. And if you are in a sensitive moment or stage, he is going to take advantage of that. So just keep that relationship with your children open. Let them know you are there. Let them know that you've been through hard times and things that you've been through, and just encourage them along that journey. So I actually have a video I did just talking about some things like that for middle school. So I will link that below. That goes into a little bit more detail. But I do want to talk about as they make that transition into middle school, and also even into high school, this can apply, but especially into middle school. I remember when my oldest was in 6th grade and going to 7th, and this was the first year I had the opportunity to go to a homeschool convention and was looking at the curriculum and was all excited about it. And I really started looking at some challenging curriculum because, he was smart, he was capable, but he was in middle school and he was not ready. So I just want to encourage you that we don't have to take a huge jump from 6th grade into 7th grade and skip some important things here. And we want to transition it slowly. We don't want them to be like, oh, here is almost a high school level curriculum because you need to be prepped for high school. We just need to move them up to the next level. And I made that mistake, and that was something that I had to learn. And it took a little bit of time to figure that out. So I just want to encourage you with that. Now, sometimes you might try one subject that they enjoy a little bit harder, but I wouldn't go into it thinking, okay, it's time to prep for high school, and then all the curriculum you have is almost a high school level, and you literally went from 6th grade. So keep that in mind. It can be challenging already, and you don't want to discourage them. You want them to feel like they're accomplishing something. And if they do have struggles, sometimes, I had one that struggled in different subjects, that it really helps just to pick the next level and not to jump into thinking that you're prepping them for high school. Because I will tell you, if you're picking a 7th or 8th grade curriculum, that's what it's there for. It's there to prepare them for high school. So, and some kids are more advanced. You may have a 6th grader that is doing 7th grade work and is ready for 8th or 9th grade work in 7th or 8th grade. So you just have to be open-minded about that and not put your child where you think they should be or where you picture them to be, but in reality, where they really are. Because that's the way God made them and has a purpose and a plan for them, for who they are and how they learn. So just want to encourage you with that and encourage them in those areas. So, all right. That was middle school. Let's talk about high school. There are so many things that I could say and mention. And like I said, I do actually have some videos on middle school and high school specifically. I just want to mention a few things here. But for high school, it's really the same thing, especially in that 9th grade year. When we're going from middle school into high school and we think that they have to have college prep and they're nervous about even entering at the high school level of the curriculum, whether it be English or math. These are areas that you build on. And if they are not ready, they're just not ready. And if you just take it slowly, especially like in the 9th grade school year, you will be amazed how much growth happens. Really just building your relationship. I feel like middle school sometimes lasts all the way through 9th grade. Let me forewarn you about that. I think it's really the end of 10th grade that you see a maturity. And for me anyways, and I have boys, I'm sure girls are different. And I'm sure there's all different personalities out there. But for me, it was more noticing at the beginning of 10th, definitely at the end of 10th grade. I'm like, wow, okay, they're ready to take this and it's their own and they're ready to move forward. So, which is great because usually by that time they're ready to take on a job and do school. They're just ready for those extra responsibilities. And by that time my boys were driving. So you want that maturity there. You want them to be able to handle it. So those are just some thoughts, some things that I just had to go through and learn along with them. Now I am with my third son. He is in 11th grade and actually I think I did a little clip on my Instagram last year of how it really just struck me at the end of his 10th grade year. He has grown up. He has taken this on his own. So, and he is doing some dual credits this 11th grade year. It has been a challenge for him, but I think it's been good for him. And I can say that now. I have talked about like when he was in 9th grade that he was not, my reader, but he is taking the challenge. He is doing what he needs to do to get it done. So that is encouraging. So just remember step by step, just moving forward to the next thing and not feeling like you have to jump from one level to the next so they can be where they're at, because they're not going to be able to do that work if they miss the in-between. So I hope that is helpful. I do have to say those high school years do go by quickly. And I hope this video was encouraging and helpful. I do appreciate you all watching. I do hope you all have a wonderful week and we will talk to you again soon.